Hello, welcome to this week's social media hangout. We have a special episode for you today as we welcome some guests, or guest for now, as one of our guests is a little late, but he'll be here. I want to welcome Christine DeGraff from CircleScope. And of course, on our panel today, we also have Dustin Stout and Ben Fisher. Hi, guys. And let's get started right away, and let's talk to Christine. Something we've seen a lot of Christine this week, talking about CircleScope everywhere, but something we haven't heard her talk about is herself. Christine, how did you get started on Google Plus and social media in general? Tell us about your short life story.
Short life story. Okay. I have 17 years background as web developer. Had a couple really fun jobs. I was the lead programmer for the Philadelphia Flyers for a couple years. That was very cool. About, I guess, 8 years ago, I started my own web company. About a year ago, I decided I had enough and gave that to my partner, and realized that after 17 years, I didn't have a blog of my own. I had no social media presence. Basically, I had built it for my clients and had totally nothing to show for Christine DeGraff. So I had started on. I'm a late bloomer as far as when it comes to social media. I was busy raising kids and stuff all while everyone else was, getting started with the bulletin board, whatever. I didn't get involved in any of that. Facebook, just about 2 years ago, I started, just connecting with people I knew. And then I just figured I needed to find a place that I could kind of blog a little bit. And I found I had come to Google Plus about 2 years ago, had no idea what to do, none. Couldn't connect with anybody. I circled some people on the suggested users list. None of them followed me back. I didn't even know what a community was. And I said, well, none of my friends are here. I have no reason to be here. So I went back to Facebook. About a year ago, I came back to Google Plus, and someone helped me out a little bit, and they said, here's some people to follow. I got a little involved in shared circles at first, which, although, I know it has a bad rap, but if it hadn't been for that, I would not still be here, because that's where I started to meet people. That was, I guess, the easiest way to start meeting people. And while I was starting to share circles, I came across CircleScope, which really just lets you put people together in a circle, find out who's I think the main thing was I didn't want to have the circles filled with people that weren't active. So I started checking on CircleScope to say, okay, are these people active or are they not active? And that's how I first got introduced to CircleScope. One of the things with CircleScope is, you can use it to find out who's not following you. So that's, kind of like Twitter. You want to, decide if someone's not following you. At some point, you might want to let them go. So I started, using it for that, and I've just grown my circles over time. I actually rarely, I stopped using CircleScope for quite a while when I stopped circle sharing, but now, I'm using it on a regular basis because now that we've relaunched, it is so awesome to use. I love it. Before so I honestly, I didn't like it. It was functional, but it wasn't enjoyable. It did what I wanted. I was able to clean up my circles. But now, I'm kind of into the whole, user experience of a tool. And if I don't then if if I don't like it, or if it's not something that I enjoy doing, I'm probably going to give it up. So now I use it every day.
I have to agree with that. I was the same way with CircleScope. I used it a few times in the past to kind of go through a few things, but I didn't enjoy the process. It was weird. It was a little clunky. It didn't have as many tools. It wasn't that robust. But I was using it for the past few days now, and oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's right. And people are blown away when they first log into it now. And, to realize that you can easily see that, 2,000 people that you follow aren't following you back, or that 1,500 people that you follow haven't posted in over 3 months. And, you know, you're like, wow, I can really clean up my circles. And it's so easy to get them cleaned up and then start building them by finding those people that are here and engaging and are talking about topics that you're interested in.
Yeah. You know, and I think that leads to a great question that we actually have from Scott Scowcroft. And that question is, you know, what are the first 3 things that someone new to CircleScope should do once they've installed the app? Hi, Craig.
How's it going?
Hey, Craig.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. There's a lower third for you that Dustin made if you want it. It's in the window.
Oh, okay.
Let me answer Scott's question. The first 3 things that you should do. Well, before you uncircle anyone, before you start to clean your circles, I really think you should take the time to first watch some videos, and we have them on our YouTube channel. So we have some tutorials. They're very short, they're very to the point, and it'll be helpful. So get to learn the tool before you just start going in and deleting everybody. The second thing is you should build your whitelist. A whitelist is a list of people that you want to keep no matter what. You want to keep, you know, I have a list of influencers. I have a list of people that I enjoy talking to, I enjoy, you know, interacting with. Whether they follow me or not, or whether they go on a 3-month vacation, I still want to keep them in my circles. So by adding them to your whitelist, you're not going to accidentally delete them.
That would also be good for potential clients, someone you're potentially trying to woo, not just, you know, friends and family kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the first thing, watch the videos and get familiar, and then build your whitelist, I think. And then the next thing to do is, you know, go through and find out who's not following you back, find out who's not even active anymore, and then start cleaning up your circles.
And not necessarily only for cleaning up, because I'm definitely, like some of the other guys on the panel, I'm not very big on the follow back mentality. I just wanted to stress that this tool isn't just for follow back and follow back cleaning. It's nothing like that. It's let's say I wanted to take a look at, Dustin has a great engaged audience on Google+. I want a piece of that pie. We were talking about other people's audiences, and this tool is really something that lets us do that. We can then look at Dustin's followers, see who's the most engaged, see who of his followers has the biggest followers. I mean, you can then compare that, go back to Google+, compare that with his ripples, and take a look at see who of those people is really sharing his stuff and target them. You know, it's sorry, Dustin, but I'm going to be targeting your followers.
I already scooped up Dustin's followers.
Hey, I'm not going to disagree with you. My followers are awesome.
Everyone wants
but you know, I mean, Andrew, that's an awesome point. I mean, for a brand, it's really difficult to find engaged followers. So if you can find a brand that does have engaged followers that's in your niche or your industry, why not go ahead, scoop up their engagers, mainly the people who say are sharing or commenting, harvest them into a circle and start paying attention to them.
Yep. Now, here's the one thing that I don't think anybody's mentioned yet. When Twitter first came out, I tend to go back to this because what Twitter did was it changed something about social in the way of finding the audience. So when Twitter search came out, you were able to go through Twitter advanced search and find the people who are either talking about your company or talking about your topic. That was a game changer for a lot of companies because Twitter advanced search, for those savvy marketers who used it, was powerful, and you can really target your audience. Now, with let's start with Google+. When Google+ came out, obviously they do search better than anyone else. This is why I loved Google+ out of the gate. So the ability to, number one, find your audience and find your potential customers or find your potential clients, super powerful. And what CircleScope has done is basically given us steroids and able to search through and find those people that we're looking for and add them in a really fast and effective way. I was telling Christine that you know, I was doing really well at managing my circles before CircleScope came along, and you know, now that I do have it and have been using it, it's like, how did I survive without this? Like, what happens if this ever goes away? for some reason there was a bug and I didn't have it for a weekend, so I was like the whole weekend I was like, I can't manage my circles. I can do nothing at all because I don't have Circloscope.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Dustin hit me up in the chat window like a billion times. He's like, I need it bad, you know. But we'll have to call it like Crackscope or something. I don't know.
Is it fixed yet? Is it fixed yet? Hey, Christine, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Is it fixed yet?
Hashtag circle a crack.
So let's take a quick break just to jump over to Craig. Hello, Craig, and how are you doing today? Wanted to learn a little bit about you. Whoops, I meant to unmute you, but there you go. No, it's all right. But yeah, tell us a little bit about Craig. Who's Craig?
Craig is a guy that was just stuck on the road for 2 hours. That's why I was late.
That's all right.
So my background is I've been in the web marketing space since about 1995, where I started my own small web development business. I ended up getting hired by a startup that ended up being bought out by Microsoft. And all that time I was developing web marketing tools for the startup and Microsoft. That was like 10 or 12 years total. And since about 2007, I've just been on my own being a consultant and doing a little bit of affiliate marketing, and was lucky enough to bump Christine on Google Plus and end up helping with Circloscope.
Nice. And we were talking about we were talking about the first 3 things to do on Circloscope, and what was did we have another question lined up yet? We had a lot of questions in the audience today.
Yeah, we do have a couple more questions. Let's see. Here's one from Abbas Studios. Filters work on every circle. Is there a way to just stay in one circle and use filters?
Yes, and there are more tutorials coming, but the answer is yes, and to do that you just click into the circle and then click on the word filters, and that will filter that circle.
And we do have one more question. This is from Mick Sharp. And that is in the main menu, there's a saved item. What and how can things be saved?
That's a good question. So after you create your filters, you have which are queries, you have the option to save them so that you can then reuse them over and over. And I think Dustin has a really good use case for saved queries. Dustin, can I get you to talk about yours?
Yeah, I have a few of them now, thanks to chats with you. I've created some new ones, but one in particular is by way of I have several versions of sort of a lead funnel, if you will. So I will have a circle in which I'm gathering leads, potential customers or clients or customers for a client, say for community members. And so I'll lump all these potential community members into a circle, and then from there I'll invite them, slowly over time. Once I have invited them, I'll move them over to a invited to community circle, or reached out to circle. So I've kind of moved them to the next step, and then I have okay, they've taken action, they've joined the community, they've made a purchase, or they've signed up for the newsletter. So there's 3 circles. So as I move them through, I want to make sure that I'm moving them out of the circles that they're no longer a part of. So I created a query that just quickly goes in and says, okay, if they are, for instance, a community member. So I plug in the query for community members, and it pulls up all the people in the community. And the saved one, I think it goes through and it finds if they're in multiple of those prospect or funnel circles, and if they're in multiple ones, it makes it real easy for me to click on them and make sure they're out of the other circles and they're only in the circle they need to be in. If that makes any sense whatsoever. That was a really
and that took you a while to set up with the query.
Yeah,
it's a one click now.
Yeah, now it's a one click. It's one click, and then it's a couple more clicks to take them out. But finding them, is a lot easier. That I don't have to go back and create those filters again and again.
I also really love the being able to search through communities, being able to filter them. You know, I can take a look at my community, social media strategy. We can take a look at, let's say, who has the biggest followers, and we can then follow up and see, are they engaging in the community, and if not, I can approach them, say, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. What can we do differently, or you know, what have you seen, you know, that led you to move away from the community, for example? And I think that's really just the amount of tools you have for someone who's doing sales or business or starting a business on Google+. This is definitely, it's a tool that you, or at least the agency running your campaign, should have. Yeah.
I personally absolutely love all of the event features. The ability for events. Like after this event, what we're probably going to do is probably going to take all of the engagers, put them into a circle, and either do a public thank you or even a private thank you, which actually works really effectively. Just saying, hey, thanks for coming and engaging on the show. You know, what would you like to see next week? By the way, here's what we got coming up next week. Make sure you RSVP. Here's the event URL. It just allows you to do all of that in something which used to take half an hour, depending on how big your event was, and you could do it literally in a couple clicks.
Even up to a week ago, I was literally going through events 1 through 10 and dragging my mouse over every single user and adding them to a circle based on which event they came to.
I would do that same.
Yep.
Everybody who commented, I would go through every commenter, add them to a circle.
I actually, a while back, I had written a macro to do it, and it was just like halfway through it, I was like, why? This just needs to be in circle scope.
Yeah. Like, I was just, God, I wasted so much time, and I wish I had this a few weeks ago. But I'm going to be doing it from now on, definitely.
It's actually going to work out really well for us with the launch, because we'll be able to go through all the different Hangouts that we've been on and add all of the engagers to one big group and either thank them or just continue to interact with them. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about that is that's not spammy. It's not like, you know, building circles for the sake of building circles. It's building real engaged followers into a real engagement type of circle.
Right, and so when we were talking about, say, looking at Dustin's engaged followers and targeting them, I don't just mean you get a circle of Dustin's followers and start notifying them on posts. That's not the way to go. Start interacting with them. Don't force them to try to interact with you. It's a losing proposition. Me and Dustin, or actually, well, technically Dustin did. I came across it on a page, but there was one user who was, you know, sending out her videos to all sorts of random people, notifying people on posts, and there were a lot of very big users of Google Plus in her notify circles that have never interacted with her before, and it's a bit rude. And you know, she responds saying, or he or she responds saying, sorry, I don't want to give names away, shame her and murder her. But basically, they were saying that, oh, well, you know, I see now that you should be removed from my circles because you don't care about my business or how successful I am. Really?
Yeah.
That's not the way to respond.
Quite honestly, they probably never see it anyway, because after the first, second, or third time, he or she was probably muted. So at that point, they see none of your posts.
Right.
Or they start, you know, or they'll start getting spam or reported as spam by random users like Dustin or me or Ben or you guys, right? And eventually they won't be able to post to communities without being flagged. And considering how many communities are not moderated, that post will sit in that spam filter forever. It will never be visible to a single person, and you'll never know it. You'll just have zero engagement on your post, and it just sits in your profile.
Never know why you have zero engagement, because you think all this effort is supposed to be paying off. And then what happens? You get mad at Google Plus because you think it's Google Plus's fault. Right. I had another instance this week. Somebody put me in a notify circle, pushed a notification to me, and I gently tried to say, hey, you know, this is great, but I didn't ask for this. And you know, when you notify people, it's probably not the best. Probably not the best thing. I don't remember what I said, but it was. I tried to be nice. But in this gal, I'm not afraid to say it. My buddy Greg was on the post with me, and he agreed. But she basically just said, "Don't tell me how to run my business. I know what I'm doing, and people don't mind." And I was like, "Okay, well, kindly remove me from your circles."
I was not surprised to find out that there was an affiliation with MLM, what's Empower Network marketing program.
Yeah.
They breed some very low quality marketers. I'll say that, and we'll leave it at that. But anyway, back to CircleScope. CircleScope is awesome.
We actually have another question. This one's from Mark Barris. Do you see Google coming out with more circle management tools, or are they relying on third-party apps?
I want to answer that. I think no to both. They don't. Google. Sorry, CircleScope. I mean, no offense to you guys, but I don't think Google necessarily likes third-party apps. They would rather everything function natively. However, I also don't think they're going to give us more circle management. I just don't see that as a priority on their list. They moved a lot of people to Android. They're working on mobile functionality. I would see them putting more into events and Hangouts working properly, but I don't. That's my opinion. What do you guys think?
I don't think so either. I think the circle management tools that they have now are sufficient for the average user that they're targeting. It's the people marketing and running businesses that need the tools, and that's not who they're trying to attract.
Similar to Instagram or Twitter, I mean, they don't generally build in bulk tools into their platforms, but there are options in third-party apps.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is kind of one of the core values of Google Plus was always to not make it easy for spammers.
Right.
And bots and automation. They don't want it to make it easy for that because it degrades the level of engagement across the network, and it becomes flooded with spammers and bots. So they're not going to focus on those kind of tools. They're just going to focus on refining the tools. They're okay with third-party developers developing these things like CircleScope. If I were to venture a guess, the handful of Google engineers that I know, I would think they're for these kind of tools, but making them not easily accessible to anyone and everyone who could abuse them. Which is why I love the fact that CircleScope is a paid thing. You do have to pay for it.
Well, now just to go back on that a little, there is a fully functional free version because we do want everyone to be able to clean up and grow their circles. However, we're not, and anything can be abused. But in order to help combat spam, the free version you do have to add or remove one at a time, and it can't be used for pages. So, the pages, the paid version is going after people who are here for business.
Yeah.
Right.
And who don't want to take the time, so yes, you can easily gather up people to circle or easily see who to uncircle, but, if you have the time to remove or add one at a time, then the free version is just fine. But if you, if many of us, just don't have that kind of time.
Exactly. Welcome, Eric.
Hey.
Hey, Eric.
How's everybody doing?
Nice to
Good.
see you.
How are you?
Good.
Happy Sunday.
We're talking about CircleScope.
Yes. So I gathered, and Christine, it's been weeks since we've been on one of these together. I was having withdrawal symptoms.
Yes, I know. Me too.
And Dustin, do you ever wear anything other than red in a Hangout these days?
Branding.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're gonna think you only own one T-shirt, Dustin.
Yeah.
And then he never washes it. So
That's why they all have slightly different designs. Sometimes the logo's up here, sometimes it's on my chest, sometimes it's actually down below.
I still think it's a little questionable to wear your own T-shirt.
I think we should get Dustin a shirt with his own picture, his own face on it, just like Nick Cage did that one time.
Actually, I'm scheduled to go in next week. I have an appointment at the tattoo parlor. I'm going to go into the tattoo, and on my back he's going to tattoo a picture of me going like this.
There you go.
There you go, with the Jackass reference. I like it.
Just like
I'm still having Eric Engie withdrawals, after seeing him in SMX. I mean, I'm just addicted. I'm completely addicted now.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, I was watching looking at some of your photos. Looks like you guys had a great time shooting pool and.
Oh yeah. No, we did have a good time. It was a good event. To me, it's one of the best search shows of the year. It's that and PubCon Vegas are the two best ones.
Yeah, I wish I could have been
too.
Where was it at?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Where was it at?
Oh, up in Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah. And yes, I was shooting pool with Matt Cutts there for a while, so that was entertaining.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I think they did like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Now, just to jump back in, we have an affiliate question from Wade Harmon. Will CircleScope be adding any banner images in the future? Soon. In the future, soon.
Yes, yeah, we will be.
Good. Oh, now I can't turn it off. Someone else talk.
So, actually, Circle Count and Scott are kind of going back and forth in the comments talking a little bit about, how Google, let's hope that Google doesn't bite the hand that feeds it regarding third-party apps, such as CircleScope.
I have seen that Google has been very supportive of Circle Count. I know they're also very supportive of Nodex, and have given them the extra calls that they needed. I'm not sure about Steady Demand. We haven't heard from them, but
I can tell you this personally. I mean, I haven't told this before, but I will now. Before they released analytics, actually, Google Netherlands was recommending Steady Demand actually for analytics. So, I think they're very supportive of third-party tools.
Yes, absolutely. Because I know with Circle Count, they had, I think they did your year 2013 at one point at the end of the year, and so many people were sharing it that I think they ran out of calls. And I saw, I think it was Vic. Is it how do you say it?
Gondotra.
I think I saw that he posted that they were going to fix that right away and get them more, more API calls. So. That's a good sign.
So we have a question from Denver Prophet. Would you suggest once you build up your authority as an individual to get the pro version and manage your brand page and Circle? Okay.
As I said, the only difference is, you do need the premium or the pro version in order to manage pages. So if you do want to manage pages using CircleScope, you do need to purchase. Otherwise,
The other thing is that this tool will help you build that authority. So having the pro tools is definitely, I think, a useful thing to have. I mean, it's to be able to target influential followers, to be able to what else can we do here? Yeah, target events, target communities. Just by follower count, by relationship. Jumping back for whitelisting, you can actually sort people in your circles now by relevance. So then you can then say, these first 50 people, they're all on the whitelist. It's not a matter of going one by one, adding them. It's very helpful with that tool.
And Denver, actually, the way I would answer that is that if you even have that intent to use it for a brand page in the future, is just go ahead and buy the pro version now. Get used to it, so that way when you do go with the brand page, you're totally comfortable with all the recipes and how to do everything. I'd say there's no reason to wait. It's a very affordable product. So, and I'm not getting any kickbacks for saying that, by the way. I just believe in the tool. Frank?
There you go. By the way, Circle Count confirms here that Google's been very supportive too.
Can I do a quick shout out to Circle Count? They sent me this in the mail.
Oh, nice.
As a thank you for doing some videos for them. So I'm really excited to use my new microphone. I didn't hook it up yet, but I will be. And they got me pink, so I'm very happy.
Those snowballs work very well.
And it matched my headphones.
Nice.
Awesome.
They're good people.
Let's see. We didn't have any other questions, Alan. So let's jump back into Circle Count. As far as is there anything that you guys would be coming out with soon? Any surprise announcements? Anything? No, nothing.
oh, geez, isn't it enough to launch a brand new tool? Like, what's next?
We're the internet. We always want more. Come on, you know
Yes,
that.
we are still in. We are actually still in launch. We haven't even put out the official press release yet. We're still launching. At that point, we're still working out a few bugs and trying to really just help people with the upgrade. There was a lot of confusion and questions about upgrading. So we're trying to get through that, and then we're going to, once we're stable and running smoothly, and our help desk support system is running right, then we're going to start looking at new features. I think events and communities are two of our top to add to the features, and just take it from there. We're always looking for suggestions. We're not promising anything, but we'll definitely look for good suggestions for features.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone does have suggestions, please add them to our community. That's where we'll collect them all and add them to a prioritized list. The community is at circuloscope.com/community. Great.
Something that I wanted to note also is something I love about all of these companies, Steady Demand, Circuloscope, Circle Count. The actual tool isn't all of the lesson. You need to watch their pages, follow them. They know what they're doing. They track engagement for a living, but it's even just how they engage with their audience, how they highlight people that are talking about their products, their services. You guys have been doing an awesome job, and I know a lot of that, I guess, is Craig, but also Christine joining in the last year. Noticed a lot of changes. You guys are doing very well, and so it's a good lesson for new users. Just follow these businesses.
Thank you. And one thing that Craig and Eshab and I really wanted to do, and it was a lead that we took from Circle Count, Nodex, and Steady Demand, is all of them offered something free, something of value for free. And with Steady Demand, it's their audit tool is one of the first places I tell people to go when they are trying to hook up a page.
Thank you.
Nodex is free for Google Plus users. If you want to track Twitter and stuff, you can add on, but it's free. And Circle Count as well. They do now have a business version, but their personal version is free. And that's something we thought was very important, that we also be able to offer a free version and be able to provide value to Google Plus, because we love Google Plus.
Well, and I think what Andrew was saying right there is dead on point, and that is that as tool owners or providers, I mean, I think we all built these tools out of our own needs and our own frustrations, and it's also in part to really educate people. And I mean, that's why we built the audit tool. That's why we built the pro tool. I think that's why even Circle Count built their tool. It was probably out of some kind of need or frustration. And Circuloscope, I mean, is just an awesome way of educating people on how to really properly manage circles. Because, like you said in your story, you came in and you got frustrated real fast, and then you left. Mm-hmm. So if you use all these tools properly, you're not going to get frustrated. You're going to have an awesome experience on Google+.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because there really isn't anything more frustrating than coming here, not understanding who to follow. You're presented with a suggested user list, and your friends aren't here, so you don't know who to follow. You start to post something, you get zero engagement because nobody's following you. And it's frustrating. You don't know what to do, and this can really help you, to find some people and add them to your circles.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the suggested user list is interesting because you could see what happens to the people on the suggested user list, and the overall engagement per follower they get drops very quickly. And when you that's a clue that that's not a good enough tool for how you choose to engage on Google+. It's not, that by itself isn't going to get you to the people that you need to be connecting with. So giving people help in that area is an awesome thing to do. And by the way, I should say hi, Craig. It's great to meet you face to face at long last.
Nice to see you, Eric. No, we met before. I went to your one of your first hangouts in real life.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You were.
And wait a minute, how about on the Christine and Mia show? Wasn't?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you again. Yes.
For the third time.
Nice to see you.
See, we've been friends forever here.
There you go. Well, and Andrea too. So I don't want to leave you out, Andrea. I haven't actually said anything to you yet. So, yeah, but that's the great thing about these tools is it really helps people start helping them discover how to get engagement, and that's just so important.
Well,
I'll
and
tell you
then,
what. I'm creating a circle right now for a music circle. I'm promoting an event next weekend, and I wanted to get some interest, so I put up a picture saying I'm creating a music circle. Everyone comment, if you're interested. Well, this thing has like hundreds of comments and hundreds of shares, and without Circloscope to actually build this circle, you would have. Dustin will tell you how hard would this be, Dustin? It would be like. It would take you 10 hours, to build a circle, where now I can, with one click, just put that URL in, grab all the sharers, all the commenters, put them all in a circle. I can filter it out to remove anyone without a profile picture. They're all active, obviously, since they're commenting. I could, then easily create the circle, take a look at the stream, to make sure there's no spammers and stuff, and this can be done in minutes instead of hours.
Christine and Craig, so what you're telling me is now I can't charge my clients for 10 hours. I have to charge them for only 10 minutes of time. I do not like this very much.
you can just click. You can just click the buttons really slowly.
You can always charge for skill. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the old plumber analogy. The plumber comes in and he taps the pipe and then charges $100. And the guy goes, "Hey, I could have tapped a pipe.
Yeah.
$300." And he goes, "Well, yeah, I knew where to tap the pipe."
Yeah.
Well, and that is absolutely true because, I'm telling you, you can randomly follow people. You can pick URLs and randomly follow people using Circloscope, and you might not get the same result as if you target the URLs to follow. As if you're searching for relevant hashtags or using Nodex to find those hashtags. And you're going to get such a difference in the level of engagement by targeting the people you follow than randomly following.
And of course, I was kidding. As a someone who runs for clients, what this tool means is that we can now spend 9 hours and 45 more minutes on actually building things, not doing these it's literally like a monkey at a typewriter, point and click and click again and again. This is definitely a time saver. And I also really like the annual versus monthly, but we'll let you guys get into the sales on your own hangout. But I like it. Sorry, Dustin.
No, I was just saying there's a great comment from Todd Smith, his experience with Circloscope. Views, posts, and followers are up over 1,000%. That's significant.
And no, he's not getting paid for this.
No, he's not getting paid.
Because he said so.
Wow, that's really cool. That's great to hear.
It's always fun getting reviews like that. I have one for a web design guy, because it was a jewelry company who never had a website before. They're like, sales are up 1,000%. I'm like, you probably would have gotten that with anyone, but thank you. You're online now.
That's another one of those things you don't need to mention.
But,
I think like what Todd is saying is it goes back to it is really very difficult for a brand page to build quality engaged followers.
Right.
And, by using Circloscope in the right kind of ways, you can definitely, if you've got, say, 100 followers, you can definitely build yourself up to 1,000 followers. And what do we see on the back end, like with Stay Demand, is, because I've done cross-checks, is that the followers grow, but the plus ones grow at about the same rate, comments grow at about the same rate, and the shares grow at about the same rate. So when I see a graph, all three of those graphs kind of moving in the same direction by using Circloscope and a couple of the tools, I mean, it's awesome. We love it for our brands.
Yep. And actually, speaking of brand pages, a great way for brands to use it, and like I was saying with the Circloscope launch, is we're going to be grabbing all the event pages and circling all those people. But over the coming weeks, every week or so or every 2 weeks, we'll be looking at all the posts out there that other people make discussing Circuloscope and circling those people too. So that saves a ton of time in reaching the people that are already out there engaging with your brand.
Yeah, I mean, these are the people who are like Todd, who are not getting paid, who are evangelizing Circuloscope, and we've seen tons of them. I mean, it makes sense that we're going to now want to add those people to our circles and, engage with them because they're people who've already, expressed that they're using it and they love it. We want to help them use it even better and love us even more.
We had a little shout out for you guys from Circle Count in the comments, thanking you for the shout out. But hi Circle Count, thank you for watching. And yeah, they were just saying that Vic answered quickly, and it's nice to see that support from Google. So that's good. I didn't know there was that much support for these third-party tools from them. So that's great.
Yeah. I have actually, since we've got a couple minutes left, I have a question for Craig and Christine. So for new users that are out there, I know we went over some of the top 3 things to do when you get started with Circuloscope. But what about going on monthly? What are some best practices that you would suggest to users after they've gotten started to keep on using Circuloscope to keep their circles clean, get more engagement, find people? What would you say your top recommended regular activities should be?
Well, I personally think, searching for and following people in your topic of interest on a regular basis. I really don't, know that you should do it daily. I think it's not a race. Google has daily limits. People tend to want to push those limits. They want to try to add as many as they can every day to get as many follow-backs as they can. And, there's no race, and your limits can actually get lowered if you continuously push them. So I think just put it as part of your regular routine, whether it's every other day or every 3 days or weekly. And then, give the people time after you add them. Put them in a circle, date it, go engage with them, give them time to follow you back before you just remove them. A lot of people that are on this race to build their followers will push the limits every day and then drop people, pretty much every day as well. They're just in a vicious race. And in the long run, it might build your numbers, but it won't build your engagement. And you'll end up maybe with high numbers and very low engagement. And I think what you're going for is you're going for a targeted audience and people that you can relate to, interact with, and you'll see your engagement skyrocket.
Definitely. That's we were talking about the suggested user list before, and I personally have to deal with this daily. I have very low engagement on random public posts. I need to target people now because I have 200,000 followers that then dilute who sees my posts and how often people see it. And when 100,000 of them aren't active on Google anymore, or they aren't following me for following me, they're just adding a suggested user list, it's very bad for engagement. And I'm still dealing with it. And even though I don't have posts go viral or what's hot anymore, I still am on the SUL repeatedly, and I think it's because of how we interact on Google, and that has a major impact on that. It's not just whether your posts have a lot of shares or whether you get a lot of +1s. It's whether you're interacting with other people, whether more people are adding you to circles than you're adding new people, for example, like you were just saying. It's all of these things. Google sees all of this information. Just because they don't tell us doesn't mean they're not using it for their calculations. I think that would be one good one for them to tell us about, but start modifying people's behavior. But it's all right. Circuloscope helps with all of that.
And I'm doing some case studies, and one of them I was helping someone with her brand page. She had done a lot of adding of shared circles, a lot of them because I suggested it to her back 6 months ago. So I took a little responsibility for that and wanted to help her clean up her circles. But she had about 7,500 people following her, and she had zero engagement. I mean, absolutely zero. She could post and nothing would happen. I used Circloscope. She didn't change anything about how she posted, but I just used Circloscope to go around to jewelry communities, other jewelry posts, and find her people that were engaging about jewelry. And I started adding them to her circles. And within the 30 days, she's gained about 1,500 new followers, and she's getting like, you know, dozens of comments and pluses and shares. She's made sales. You know, the difference is night and day. She had been here for a year and just had nothing. And it just makes sense that you might get followers, but if they're not interested in jewelry, they're not going to engage with you. You know, and in her case, she needed to find those jewelry enthusiasts to engage with and add to her circles. It just makes perfect sense.
There's an even bigger lesson in there in that when you need to review how your posts are doing, you need to go back and see, you know, there's a lot of people that will post to a community, get moderated, and they'll never even respond to our comments explaining why it was moderated. And they never learn. They just continue doing it, eventually get banned, and we move on with our day never knowing they exist ever again. And it's a shame. You need to look at it, and if you don't get engagement, figure out what you're doing wrong. Like, figure out what's happening. And in her case, it wasn't the posts, it was the followers. They were not targeted followers. And that's something someone can just do on their own now. Go on Circloscope, manage your follow count, you know, manage your targeting. So that's good. We have about 4 minutes left. Is there anything else we wanted to cover today on the panel? Does anyone have anything interesting coming up this week apart from Circloscope? Anything? No?
I do.
Please go ahead. Come on. Hey, you're here.
Yeah, My Music Hangout has, we are this weekend partnering with School of Rock to promote Gemba 2014, which Gemba is the School of Rock Battle of the Bands at Summerfest. So we are going to be doing 3 days of live streaming day and night from Summerfest, and I'm very excited to be a part of it.
That's awesome. So if you could drop the link into the event page, and
okay.
we'll have some people head over there. That sounds awesome.
Well, I'm embarking on a revitalized YouTube strategy. That's kind of exciting. So this week, the goal for Dustin.tv is to release a new YouTube video every single day this week.
Wow.
I'm going to be utilizing Google Hangouts on Air to record the video privately, and then release it at a specific time every day, just to kind of amp up the YouTube presence because I started a brand new channel specifically for Dustin.tv that's detached from my personal brand just a little bit, so that my personal page can start to be something a little bit different. But a lot of fun things that I'm working on for Dustin.tv that I'm super excited about that I hope to share soon within our little communities here, social media strategy and creative social media and social media professionals. I'm going to kind of rely on the guys in there to share that strategy with once I get my little team together that Ben Fisher doesn't know he's a part of yet.
But happy to be a part of it, Dustin. Of course.
We make Ben a part of everything, though. That's what it was.
Yeah. Ben, all the things.
So in my case, I'm going to be going to Minneapolis and speaking at the MN Search conference there. So it's a local conference, probably a few hundred people at it, but I'm going to be talking about the Hummingbird algorithm and things like Google Now and semantic search and how all those things kind of mush together. And I've learned this really cool demo, using one of these things where you can just show Google Now just totally. It just blows you away what it can already do. This thing that Google has built, and it's a lot of fun to show how good it is at understanding natural language at this point.
Well, we saw Matt Cutts do that at SMX, and he did it live actually, but even with the Wi-Fi, and it came back deadly accurate.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's a few quirks you have to learn your way around, but once you learn them, it's amazing. I could get addicted to that, I'll tell you.
Just a quick reminder for live viewers, we had a 25% off discount on CircleScope today during the show. 25% off, the below link, circlescope.com/SMH. Shaking my head. But
I will say I've got one thing going on this week, definitely.
Go ahead.
That is Wednesday on the Google Plus Business Spotlight. We have our Unbounce Redo. And we had them on a couple months ago, actually. And this time we're going to be doing Page Fights HOA. We're going to be talking about how they do the page fights. And we have Conversion XL that's going to be on as well.
Cool.
Awesome. And one other, we're going through a bit of a redesign of the SM Hangout. Well, not a redesign, just adding to it, the smhangout.com site. So by tonight, you should have all past episodes available with a little blog post as well. And we're going to be trying to do, we'll have our shows live. So if you go to smhangout.com/live, you can view it right on the site starting with next week and take part in the comments and everything right from there. Now I will be able to put in extra links and images for you that you need during the show. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on this week. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching, and it looks like Craig wanted to say something.
I was just going to say, I think I can show you guys what I'm going to be up to this week. Can you see
Sitting and watching the lake.
Yeah.
That's not right. I'm not
I
happy
will be
about that.
supporting CircleScope users, but I'll be really comfortable and happy while I'm doing it.
There you go. That'll make you better support.
Now that we're like partners, can I like get access to that lake house?
It depends. How much money you got?
So I would just throw a call to action out to everybody there. Again, I don't get paid for this, but really seriously, is take advantage of the discount that Craig and Christine are giving today on CircleScope. It's well worth it. If you can save an hour of your time a month, is your time worth $100? I would think it is. So
and the
get it
tool
while you can.
is priced annually, so it's with the discount, I think it comes to what, $35 annual for the first year.
And you know that saving an hour, that's an undershoot. You're saving a lot more time than that. Yeah, especially if you're doing a lot of things like we are. You know, we have events going on. We got the communities. We got our own pages. We have our clients' pages. I mean, it's if you are a marketer and you do not have this tool for Google Plus, you are behind. Right? And that's
You shouldn't be a marketer.
Right.
I was actually just thinking Craig and I should just go raise the prices right now. It's like I'm like, wait a minute, this really is too low.
Yeah, so basically lock in now for a year before they raise the prices, because they entirely could, and I'd probably still pay for it. So yeah. But yeah, so thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Christine. It was a pleasure talking to you guys, and of course our panel of esteemed co-hosts as well, Eric, Dustin, and Ben. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank
Adios.
you.
See you all later.
Bye-bye.